Call this meeting to order, Monday, December 21st,
I have no seat.
Falmouth Conservation Commission.
Here, Betsy, here's a seat for you. Do you have a
Okay,
seat?
first up is vote orders of condition, 89 Falmouth Heights Road. East Marine Corporation, Jen.
89 Falmouth Heights Road. This is the replace of, what was it, 100 linear feet of bulkhead in Falmouth Inner Harbor. The only question is whether or not the board wants to apply the time of year restriction recommended by the Division of Marine Fisheries to protect the winter flounder.
Betsy, after just having that conversation, so what is the outcome? I mean, obviously silt is a very big indicator, and they're gonna jet the piles, we know that, and
So, I don't know enough about construction. Can they put, if they jet the piles, can they put a sediment curtains
no,
from the?
no, they're useless, pretty much.
Pretty much.
How much sediment does that
Quite a
produce?
bit. You jet, I mean, you're jetting for a 12-inch pile, and they jet down, they don't just jet like 2 feet, so, I mean, they jet down 8, 12 feet, sometimes even more,
Yeah, to try
to get it
them-
going.
They said 10, I think, didn't they?
All right, they did, all right. And then after that, then they hammer it. And hammering, even though they say it doesn't create as much silt, when you hammer, I mean, if you take something and you bang in the ground, stuff flies out. So
Yeah.
if
Well,
there's any
especially there.
current, then the silt goes around, and that's why DMF always has a concern for that time of year, so. I know that they say they can overcome it, but they can't overcome tide and time and.
But aren't they also doing these on the inside of the existing ones?
Not the piles.
No.
Not the, oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah.
issue, the piles. The sheathing I have no problem
Right,
with.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Because sheathing's really almost vibrated to hammered in. They don't pre-jet for that.
Yeah, the other question, so what I said to Maury, and I'll send this to Mary and send it to everybody, but it's an article about the life history of winter flounder. And, you know, just like anything, people don't know everything about it. But, you know, the eggs stick to the surface of sand grains. And the problem is, you don't want to get them buried. And so obviously, if there's dredging, if you have a flat bottom, it's definitely going to be disturbing them. And the other aspect of it was time of year. And time of year in this part is usually January, February to something else, but if we gave them an order of conditions, basically, they're not necessarily gonna do it the first week of January, which would be less harmful. So it's up to what people think.
Isn't the restriction up until March?
January 15th to May 31st.
I was gonna say it's through
Oh, it's already
April, I know,
now.
because
Through April.
here
I
they
just
say,
read
like,
it, but it's
end
7
of
in the morning,
January,
so let me double
February
check again.
through, end of January, February through,
May.
well, I mean, this is what this article said,
Yeah.
through April, for this region.
For this
the
region.
Woods
January
Hole region.
15th through May 31st.
But it's also dependent on water temperature, and the water temperature probably isn't as low now as you would
It's gonna
usually
be,
expect,
so
because
it's gonna be
warm,
maybe a little later.
because it may be a little bit later.
The pile's going in front of
Yes.
the old
How many
pile.
piles
I mean,
are going
the
in?
new sheet piling is going in front of the old bulkhead.
How many
think-
They're
piles are
going
going
to
in?
probe.
And they're taking out the docks too, don't forget.
We had a couple other things also.
They're taking out the docks and then putting them back in. See right here?
Are they pulling the piles?
Somewhere,
Taking out the docks?
yeah.
Yes, they're pulling the piles.
Sections of piers to be removed as needed. See the finger piers that go out?
Right.
Right.
So I don't know if that just means they're taking the boards off, they're taking I don't know. But there's quite a few. I mean, if you look at this, there's quite a few. See, these are all piles. All these little black dots are piles.
But they're saying as needed.
And those are coming out.
No, these are all
No,
coming
those
in.
are
Okay,
piles.
okay.
They're
All
all
the
coming
black,
out,
yeah.
and those piles are going in.
Expose
Then
the
you run
whale
to
beam
end.
and
All right.
timber pile connections, remove the whale beams, timber piles, and timber sheathing above the water level.
That's along the bulkhead.
Okay?
But the
One,
question is,
two.
what about the finger piers? Because if they take piles of the finger piers, that's a lot of piles. Well, it already is a lot of piles.
Yeah, it's probably 50 piles, 45 piles maybe. Maybe they've told us how many exactly, but I'm not gonna,
Okay.
there's a lot. I personally, I'm gonna just go with the winter flounder restriction. I think that if we start doing this, it's a slippery slope of, then everybody's gonna say, oh, we're not gonna cause an impact. And like I say, if you look at the decline in the winter flounder stock, there has been an impact, and every time we give that little teeny bit, and eventually, it's all gone.
Yeah.
And I know they just bought this, and I feel bad that they just bought it, and it's in bad shape, and they need to fix it, but,
They might have to wait 8 months.
well, either that, or they'll, to be honest, sometimes they get their act together when they have to hurry. So when they'll be ready to hit the ground running in April, and get it done by June. I mean, it can be done.
They have the time of year restriction is
May?
until May 31st.
But I'm saying they can get their act together in April and be ready to hit the ground.
The harbor master probably will not
Let them-
you
no.
know,
No.
they're up against the harbor master and, you know,
Right.
and that's gonna be Greg's call whether they can do this work
In the summer.
season.
Yep.
But if they have to wait a year, they have to wait a
Well,
year.
you either inconvenience people, or you kill winter flounder. I guess that's the choice here.
So you have the winter flounder restriction, you also want an as-built.
A dewatering plan?
Yeah, dewatering, I'm getting there.
Oh,
A year, as-built, dewatering plan,
And location of where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
dewatering plan, location.
And in the stormwater management, to notify the office, our office, if there's erosion.
Controls, yep. And I've already talked to the contractor, he is going to be probing. He has a long probe that he can use to probe the base of that
Okay.
bulkhead prior to installing the sheeting. I'm really, really big on that,
Mhm.
after what happened and stuff. That's non-negotiable for your staff. That has to be done. Because then it puts us in a bad
Well, it
position if
just,
they run
it
into
makes sense,
something,
right?
yeah.
And they should do that before they do all of it, so they know where they're at. Win. And you said as-built?
It was a pump up
Yeah,
there.
she said as-built.
As watering plant location, notify Concom of erosion, and then probe the base of the wall of sheet piling prior to. I use a different word, you said probe.
Inspect,
Inspect.
There you go.
investigate.
Investigate by means of the.
By means of a probe.
And I think that was all that you guys had on, so.
All right, so is everybody good with that, or any other comments? So I'm looking for a motion.
So I move that we approve as discussed.
Second.
Which includes time of year restriction.
Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. 177 Fay Road, control.
That was the raise and rebuild, that they tried to come under the amendment, and then we had them do the full notice because it was a kind of a major, it was a significant change to the original plan. It had Dan Celine's landscape plants. They did add some additional shrubs like the staff had asked. I think the only special condition, Maury, was that you wanted a single rail fence.
Or
some side-
bounds of some sort.
Bounds. And the bounds can take the form of single rail fence, and
How about
something
single
to
rail,
demarcate that area.
single rail fence or
Yeah.
something to be
Yeah,
agreed
yeah,
upon
right.
with
It
the,
sounded
staff.
like he was more than agreeable
Yeah,
with
no,
what
yeah,
the
that's
market
fine, I
said.
Yeah,
just
the
want to
market.
give them the option, some people do
Sure.
like that
owners
low
might
single
not
rail
like.
fence.
I like
some
single
people
rail
like
fence, some people.
concrete
Kinda
bound,
like
it
rough.
really
Too.
is just what they
That's
want
the
to
idea.
do.
Or granite posts or
Yeah,
something.
granite, just
Something to
demarcate that area.
demarcate that.
The only issue I have with granite bounds is that after about 2 or 3 years, the grass grows over them or whatever grows over them and you never see them.
Well, not if they're posts.
If they're posts up out of the ground, yeah, okay.
Just a way to, like I said,
According to staff
delineate that
specifications.
area.
This was a
Agreed
much,
upon by.
Yeah,
it's much
that's fine.
cleaner that they came in with the new NOI.
I think it is.
Then it's one clear plan.
Yeah. Pile after pile.
Oh, yeah.
So I move that we
Because I don't think there's any real special conditions with the house.
accept
No.
as discussed.
No.
See, a motion by Betsy, second
Second.
by Jamie. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. 5 Onaway Lane.
On
and on and on.
Onerous lane.
Living up to his name.
I was happy with this. He cut the size of the dock down. I think
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not doing
It's
the wall
more-
anymore.
We have a place to store the
it
dock.
fits more in
Yeah.
that neighborhood, in that
There
area.
was a time of year restriction on this one as well from DMF.
For herring, right?
I
Yes.
believe, I think it's a March to June time of year restriction, but again, 7 in the morning.
And I have a note to check the box for herring on the form, and if I got the,
April 1st to June 15th is the time of year restriction.
June 15th.
Yep.
It shouldn't hurt anybody.
Such a small dock.
It's such a small dock, it'd be done in the first thing.
90% of it's all done up on to be built, and then it's just the piles.
Be consistent.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah.
No, we were just saying how it won't really affect them for the delay.
No, I'll be
No.
quick. And what did you say more about?
Mary. The fish run should be checked on the form.
Okay. We'll check that off in the order.
I move that we accept this as discussed.
Second.
Okay, Betsy and Mike, any other discussion from the commission? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. 241 Edgewater Drive, east.
14.
I don't think, yeah. Oh,
241.
sorry, that was me.
Is it? Oh.
214.
I was reading,
No, that was me. Sorry about that.
excuse me, 214.
Was that before 7 in the morning that you
Had
had
to
that?
be.
No, that was just me being guilty.
So 214 Edgewater Drive, east. Thank you.
dated.
Yeah, I know, I'm never recovering from this. I don't really believe there were any special conditions on it. Oh, wait a minute.
What was this, anyway?
It was the one where the buffer's just being cut like in a straight line, remember?
Yeah.
You didn't notice that the nature doesn't grow like that?
I've been like that.
All we have is dock, that buffer was planted for the dock, so it is supposed to be allowed to grow in its full and mature form, so they really do need to stop cutting that buffer.
I know.
So,
So we're gonna make a finding that that buffer is required by a previous order not to be
cut.
cut, and,
The only other thing I had on my notes was to protect that septic tank.
yes.
Well, that's right. Now I remember. That was age 10, you said?
Yeah,
And they were gonna have to drive.
over it.
Yep. Now I remember.
And protect septic.
Yep, it's gonna be years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
Any other discussion? 14 Edgewater Drive East? Nothing? Okay, I'll take a motion.
remember?
This is going way too easy.
Yeah, they're restoring.
Oh, and they have to,
Make,
Yeah, they're putting a couple of small additions on,
but they have to, I mean, they're not restoring it, they're just not cutting it this year,
yeah, or any, yeah,
or any year,
Ever.
but especially this year,
thank you.
so it can start to grow.
make
I'm
a
okay.
motion
Do you
to
need a
accept the project as
Do you have a
discussed.
second?
Second.
We got motion and a second. All set.
All right, I'm ready to vote then.
Okay, so no other discussion from the commission, all, yeah. We'll call for the vote, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, abstentions, unanimous, so moved. 145 Walker Street.
This was Maria's plan, so we need to put the walkway,
You need to move some of the trees.
yeah,
That was
walkway on plan, benchmark on plan.
This, yeah, she was working off Warwick's plan, right?
She was working
Yeah.
off the
Yeah.
forward plan. And then you wanted to, Mike, there's a large tree that wasn't located, that we
There's an oak,
Right.
yeah,
there's an oak in the center of the property.
locate on plan.
And they should probably stake those property lines before they start planting.
Stake property lines.
They may end up on somebody else's property.
They were close to.
And then move the mitigation trees off the property boundary, correct?
And label the flood zone designations on the plan.
Okay. I think it was the buffer. I think those are the buffer line, that's the buffer line, that's the 50 and, I think, but label,
They're not labeled, I think you're right.
yeah, I'm fine. Move mitigation tree off the property line, got it, okay.
I make a motion to accept the order as discussed.
Second.
Maureen and Courtney, any other discussion amongst the commission? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. Other business, choose a consultant for Steamship Authority review.
We have heard from one consultant that is interested in doing a review on this town. It was, the consultant was actually recommended to us by the engineering department, Scott, so I'll be in contact with them. We did reach out to another engineering firm as well. I have not heard that back from them yet, but I did talk to one of their representatives in the field on Friday. And they were gonna get back to me this week on whether or not they could conduct the review in the time period. I would like a report by the end of early February. So they were gonna get back to me early this week. So what I would ask the board is to allow Russell and I to choose a consultant on your behalf, so I can get this moving.
I make a motion to let Russell and Jen pick the consultant for the Civic Authority.
So, second.
Okay, we have a motion for we have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved.
Make it clear that Betsy and,
Has recused herself.
Yes.
And now I'll take the other motion.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, that Mike Powers and Betsy Glassholder recused themselves from the discussion regarding the extinction authority.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, approved. We're adjourned.